In the shadows of time, before empires had names and kings had crowns, three powers rose from the dust, each claiming destiny as its own. One ruled by the gods of the Nile, one ruled by the stars of the east, and one, small yet sacred, ruled by faith alone. But when ambition collided with prophecy, the world as they knew it began to burn. This is the forgotten clash that changed the course of ancient history. Long before the rise of modern nations, when the earth still whispered with the echoes of creation, three ancient powers rose to shape the destiny of mankind. Egypt, the empire of the Nile, veiled in mystery and majesty. Babylon, the jewel of the Euphrates, brilliant yet hungry for power. And Judah, a small but sacred kingdom, standing between giants, carrying the weight of divine promise. This is not just a tale of war and conquest. It is the story of destiny, where kings, prophets, and empires collided, and the world as we know it began to take shape. In the south, the sands of Egypt stirred again. Pharaoh Necho II dreamed of restoring his nation's ancient glory. He rebuilt his armies, revived the old gods of empire, and looked northward toward the lands of trade, of faith, and of fate. But across the deserts, far beyond the horizon, another force was awakening. From the ruins of Assyria rose Babylon, led by Nabopolassar and his son Nebuchadnezzar II. They envisioned a new world, one that would revolve around Babylon's might. Its walls gleamed beneath the sun, its ziggurats pierced the sky, and its heart pulsed with ambition. Egypt looked west, Babylon looked east, and between them stood Judah, small, proud, and unyielding. In Jerusalem, King Josiah ruled with courage and conviction. He restored faith among his people and sought peace in a world ready for war. But when Pharaoh Necho marched north to face Babylon, Josiah stood in his path, at a place called Megiddo. No one truly knows why. Perhaps he sought to protect his land, perhaps he believed it was his divine duty. But fate was unkind, and in that battle Josiah fell. The king who longed for peace met his end in the shadow of war. And with his death, Judah's strength began to fracture. Years later, the world trembled at the banks of the Euphrates. The Battle of Carchemish. The clash of Egypt and Babylon thundered across the ancient world. For days, the sky darkened with arrows and fire. But when the smoke cleared, Babylon stood victorious. Egypt's armies broke, their dreams drowned in the river's flow. Babylon had become the master of empires. And now, only Judah remained, caught in the storm's path.
Under Babylon's rule, Judah's kings bent the knee. Gold and treasures from Jerusalem flowed eastward, and sacred relics were carried away as tribute. But rebellion burned quietly in the hearts of its people. When Jehoiakim defied Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar returned, his vengeance swift and absolute. Jerusalem was besieged. The first captives were taken, among them the young and faithful Daniel, who would soon walk the corridors of Babylon's palaces, carrying his faith into the heart of the empire. But Judah's defiance would rise again. Years later, under King Zedekiah, rebellion flared once more, and this time Babylon would show no mercy. For 2 years, Jerusalem starved beneath siege. The sound of hunger echoed through empty streets, and when the walls finally fell, the temple, the very heart of Judah's soul, was set ablaze. Flames devoured the sacred city. Smoke rose to the heavens like a cry to eternity. The kingdom was gone. Its people led away in chains, their songs fading into the distance. But exile was not the end. In Babylon, faith survived. Prophets spoke of hope, and the exiled people held fast to their identity. They wrote, remembered, and believed that one day their story would not end in sorrow. And just as prophecy foretold, Babylon, in all its glory, met its own quiet downfall. Cyrus of Persia marched in, and the great city fell without a sword drawn. Egypt faded into silence. Babylon turned to dust. But Judah's faith lived on. Empires rise and empires fall, but what endures is the truth carried through the ruins. The clash of Egypt, Babylon, and Judah was not just the struggle for power, it was the shaping of destiny. Even now, thousands of years later, their echoes still whisper through the sands of time, reminding us that kingdoms may vanish, but the spirit of faith never dies. And so, as history sleeps beneath the desert sun, a question remains. Were these empires merely fighting for power, or were they unknowingly fulfilling a purpose written since the dawn of time?